Welcome to Family Gaming TV. As you can see, we're back with Skylanders Imaginators, and you might recognise this chap, Dan Neal, who we spoke to back Skylanders Giants, who came out to the studio, Toys for Bob. We talked a lot about the sound there.
We did.
So, I mean, first of all, how's life since Giants?
It's been great. Since Giants we made Trap Team, and then after Trap Team we've rolled straight onto Skylanders Imaginators. It's a lot of fun to work on this game.
So we're talking about the game in general, but you're sound director
Yeah.
on Skylanders. So how's the sound evolved as those games have sort of moved forward?
Well, one thing we've tried to do is reflect the core innovation of the game in audio. Kind of that's how I see our responsibility within the audio team. So on Trap Team we had the speaker in the portal, as you remember, and this year in Imaginators we've got some really cool creative audio features that we think that fans of the franchise are going to enjoy playing with, that allow them to bring their imagination to life and create their own Skylander with sound.
Yeah, so part of that creation process you were showing me just earlier, as you're picking sort of catchphrases, aren't you?
That's right.
And obviously there's a lot of audio that goes with that.
You bet, absolutely. So as you know, a big part of what makes us Skylander is the catchphrase. So it was really important to us that we found a way to allow kids to create their own catchphrase, so both what their Imaginator will say, but also their voice, and then also voice effects to make them sound different, crazy, funny as well.
Behold my arrows!
Behold my arrows! Behold my bow!
So you pick the two phrases, and then you can go through and you can pick, like, was it robotic and sort of digitizy and...
That's right, so angelic voices, or silly voices, or serious voices, robot voices, animal sounding voices, troll type voices, and then you can layer effects on, like, are they high pitched or low pitched, or do they sound, you know, like they're in a canyon, for example. It's a lot of fun playing with that feature, but we went further than that. You can also choose a music theme for your Skylander, so as you play the game you can listen to different music styles as you run around. And then the third thing we did was add sound effects, so you get to pick what sound theme your Skylander has, maybe cartoony or robotic or even gassy.
Yeah, gassy, that's the one that my kids will pick first, I think.
I think it's the one that everyone's going to pick first.
And so we saw some footage previously where you have a jukebox and there's a bit of a mini game, and you sort of you're clicking as the needle goes around.
That
to
control radio that you're talking about. That's right, fan favourite. Back
returning for Imaginators.
Exactly. So by playing Troll Radio, you can unlock some of those audio features, and also it's just a fun little mini game. We've got Chill Bill and Broccoli Guy returning as the radio announcers on that radio station. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, both for us, obviously, as you can tell, and we think people are going to enjoy it.
And so when you're picking those phrases, I think do you get to unlock more different? There's maybe 10 different sort of styles of voice here, but there's more in the game, is there?
There's more you can unlock in the game, and you can also unlock more catchphrase lines that your Imaginators can say, and you do that by beating the Doomlanders. So the same mind magic that Portal Masters will be using to create their Imaginators, Chaos has got his hands on that same mind magic, and with it he's created a range of super bad guys called the Doomlanders. And as a Portal Master, you play the game, you beat the Doomlanders, and you can take those creative items that Chaos has been using, and then you can use them to make your own Imaginators too.
So Doomlanders, that reminds me of Wolfgang. Or was he a Doom Raider?
That's right.
So these are not Doom Raiders, these are Doom...
Chaos named them.
He's trying to make it confusing for us.
He's got a theme. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Doom obviously crops up a lot.
I think it might be his favourite word.
Yeah.
Yep.
And in terms of the game in general, obviously you have this creation crystal. Something we've been asked is whether you just have one Skylander in there, or if you've got a child who wants to create lots, can they put lots in that crystal?
So a creation crystal holds one Imaginator of a particular element and battle class. You can take it to your friend's house. You can take it off the portal, use it like a regular Skylanders toy. But you can continually change the way that your Imaginator looks as you play the game. You can use different gear, change their colours, change the way they look as well as you play.
So, but in that crystal you have is one character.
That's right.
Yeah. So the crystal is a particular element type.
That's right.
But you can create any of the Imaginator classes.
That's right. Yes, right. So if you have a fire crystal, you could create a fire knight, you could create a fire sorcerer, a fire bowslinger, a fire ninja, or any of the 10 battle classes of the fire, and then you make them of the fire element. So the battle class defines two major things, right? It defines the type of weapon. So a knight will use swords, a bowslinger will use bow and arrows, a brawler will just be using his fists, and it defines the upgrade tree for all of those powers. So you can also customize all of the upgrades and all of the attacks that you have on each button for your Imaginators as well, and those are different for each battle class.
And in terms of supporting old Skylanders, it's been clear that you're great at we've got this big bag of Skylanders in my house,
Right.
and that we can get any of them out and use them.
Yep.
This year, I think traps aren't supported in the same way.
That's right. I think they're supported actually in the racing mode. So we're actually including the tracks from Superchargers in Skylanders Imaginators. So you'll be able to play that right out of the box. So everyone will be able to play the racing inside of Imaginators.
And that means that you can take your Imaginators character that you've made and put him in a race car.
And you can race them around the track.
Yeah. So I like that idea. I like the way that in the racing game you get to see a lot of different. You see them up close, you see them in a different pose, so you get sort of a different side to the character.
It's super cool.
So a big part of the game are the senseis.
Right.
And I'm sort of losing count. I think there's 31 senseis. Is that right?
I think that's right. I think there's 20 senseis and then there's 10 villain characters. They're also senseis, but they're returning favourites from Trap Team, so the likes of Wolfgang and Golden Queen.
Yep.
They're now fully realised in toy form and they're senseis as well.
Yeah. I want Glumshanks. There's a villain senseis. Any chance of that?
We're not talking about other villains at this point.
I'd buy that in an instant. So as well as those, we also have Crash. Is that which makes 31, and he's a sensei as well?
So Crash is a sensei as well, and he's got all the benefits of the sensei Skylanders, and that includes they unlock creation elements that you can use for your Imaginators. Every sensei that you use increases the level cap for all of your Imaginators. They unlock a secret technique for Imaginators of a matching battle class. And in addition to that, they have a Sky Chi power, which is the most powerful attack we've ever put into a Skylanders game. In fact, so powerful it has its own button.
That will wait too if you're on a PlayStation. And so those senseis, do they have an upgrade path as well? So they have abilities that they bestow on the Skylanders you've created, but do you upgrade the senseis themselves?
Absolutely. They have a full upgrade tree, just like you'll know from Skylanders games of past. Every sensei has a full upgrade tree as well. Yeah, and Crash is a fully playable sensei available in the Skylanders Imaginators Crash Bandicoot Starter Pack.
Yeah, and so that's exclusive on PlayStation. But part of that announcement was that it will be compatible with Xbox and Wii U as well. Although I don't think it's been announced how those players would get it yet.
Right, exactly.
So they could buy their own starter pack or borrow a friend's perhaps.
Yeah, I think we're not talking about that at this point.
So we've got Crash here. I just spotted him over there. Obviously, this is part of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Nice new character. So, how did you get that sound authentic, creating the Crash character in game?
Well, we actually brought back the voice actor that played Crash originally.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's right. We brought him back to lend a sense of authenticity there, and also obviously took amazing care to make sure that it sounded just exactly as people remember it. Yeah.
Cool. And so, is the Crash theme tune in the game, or is that not?
I don't think we're talking about that.
Okay. Great. Well, it's really nice to see you again, but also nice to hear more about audio in the game. Really looking forward to playing it. I know my kids can't wait to get their hands on characters like Crash and all the rest.
Look forward to seeing what they make.
Yeah. We'll send you some screenshots.
Thank you.